talk the talk, we walk the walk.
Amen.
We took on a system that was sending billions of dollars to banks and lenders in the student loan system. We said, why do we need middlemen? Let's get the loans directly to students. We can help keep interest rates low. Again, you've got a choice, because Governor Trump wants to roll back all that stuff we did. It is a shame. So we can gut education to pay for more tax breaks for the wealthy. Or we can decide that in the United States of America, no child should have their dreams deferred because of overcrowded classrooms. No family should have to set aside a college acceptance letter because they don't have the money. No business should have to look for workers in China because they can't find ones with the right skills here in the United States. So I'm asking you to help me recruit 100,000 new math and science teachers. Help me improve early childhood education. 2 million workers the chance to learn the skills they need at community colleges that will lead directly to a new job. Help us work with colleges and universities to cut the cost of tuition. Number 4, let's reduce the deficit in a way that doesn't stick it to middle class families. I've already worked with Republicans in Congress to cut $1 trillion in spending. And I'm willing to do more. I put forward a plan for a $4 trillion deficit reduction. But to do that, we can't just cut our way to prosperity. We've got to reform our tax code so that it's simpler and fairer. And ask the wealthiest households to pay higher taxes on incomes over $250,000. Go back to the same way we had when Bill Clinton was president. Created nearly 23 million new jobs, and the biggest surplus in history, and a whole lot of millionaires to boot. Now, in fairness, my opponent has a plan too when it comes to taxes. But as President Clinton said, it doesn't have any arithmetic. They're trying to sell the idea that we can somehow lower our deficit by spending trillions of dollars more on tax breaks for the wealthy. And no matter how many times they try to reboot their campaign, no matter how many times they try to tell you they're going to start talking specifics really soon, they don't do it. And the reason is because the math doesn't work. They cannot explain how $5 trillion in tax cuts are going to be put on the table without raising taxes on middle-class families. And they don't stop there. They want to spend another $2 trillion in new military spending that our military hasn't asked for. So the reason they don't explain it is because they can't. The math does not add up. So if they go around, as they have in Ohio, with some board behind them with the numbers, saying how it's a moral obligation to reduce the deficit, just ask them, well, explain us how the numbers work. Because they don't. They don't have a deficit reduction plan. They have a deficit expansion plan. Governor Romney may think it's fair that somebody who makes $20 million a year like he does should pay a lower tax rate than a teacher or another worker who makes $50,000. Don't vote.
Let him know.
I don't think that's fair. I don't think it helps the economy grow. We cut taxes for middle-class families. And we want to keep taxes low for 98% of Americans, 97% of small businesses. And the reason is, when middle-class families have more money in their pocket, what do? Yeah, because you got a lot of things. So you may end up trading in that 10-year-old car, buying a new one. Maybe you buy a new computer for your kid who's going off to college. And what happens when you spend money? That means businesses have more customers. They make more profits. They then hire more workers. The economy grows. That's what we did in the 90s. That's what we do today. So I'm not looking forward to working with Republicans to reduce our deficit, but I refuse to ask middle-class families to give up their deductions for owning a home or raising their kids just to pay for another millionaire's tax cut. Pay more for college, or to kick children off of Head Start programs so I can take a tax break that we don't need. We're not going to kick the poor, the elderly, and the disabled out of health care to pay for a tax cut like that doesn't help us grow, and I will not turn Medicare into a voucher. Have their golden years, their retirement years, spent at the mercy of insurance companies. They should retire with dignity, respect. They will. We'll reform and strengthen Medicare for the long haul, but we'll do it the right way by actually reducing costs, not by dumping those costs on the seats. Same thing with Social Security. We'll take responsible steps to strengthen it, but we're not going to turn it over to Wall Street. Obviously, we've been talking a lot about what happens here at home, but that's connected to what happens abroad. In 2008, I said I didn't think the war in Iraq, and I did. I said that we were fighting down the war in Afghanistan in a responsible way, and we are. Service and sacrifice of our troops. Al-Qaeda is on the path to defeat. Osama bin Laden is dead. We still face serious threats in the world. That's why so long as I'm Commander-in-Chief, we are going to maintain the strongest military the world's ever known. When our troops come home and they take off their uniform, we're going to serve them as well as they serve us. Their basic theory is if you can't afford health care, hope you don't get sick. Yeah, some companies polluting the air your children are breathing. Well, you know, that's vice progress. If you can't afford to go to college, borrow solve our problems either. Just like, we have this kind of politics where we pretend that somebody out there is to blame, welfare recipients, or corporations, or unions, or immigrants, or gays. That's not how this country works. Here in America, we believe we're all in this together. We believe America only works where we accept responsibility for ourselves, but we accept responsibility for the country and for each other. That's how we create opportunities. That's how we create possibility. We understand America is not about what can be done for us, but what can be done by us together as one nation. We've got proof that this works. 4 years ago, I said, this isn't about me. I said it was about you. That's what I said. So you're the reason that some mother in Cleveland doesn't have to worry about her kid not getting health insurance because of a pre-existing condition. You made that happen. You're the reason that factory worker in Toledo, Lordstown, is back on the line building the best cars in the world. You're the reason some student active at Columbus or at Kent State can pay for a college education. Some young immigrant who was brought here as a kid and has been raised here, pledged allegiance to our flag, is not something that can be deported to a country she never left. Some outstanding soldiers won't be kicked out of the military because of who they are or who they love. Say the loved ones who served us so bravely, welcome home. Welcome home. I was talking about this down in Florida the other day. I said, one thing I've learned is you can't just change Washington from the inside. You gotta change it from the outside. You change it with the help of ordinary Americans who make their voices heard. And my partner got real excited about this. He rewrote his speech. He said, the president has admitted defeat. He's waved the white flag. I'm going to get the job done from the inside. And I'm thinking, what kind of inside job is he talking about? Is he talking about an inside job of rubber stamping a top-down agenda from this Republican Congress? Because if he is, we don't want it. Is he talking about the inside job of having oil companies write our energy policies? Or our insurance companies writing our health care plans? Or folks who are outsourcing jobs writing our tax code? Because if that's what he's talking about, we don't want it. Is he talking about the inside job of having politicians control health care choices that women